system is able to show you all these material types, and all these material types are available here. Okay, once again, what is the path? The path is in SPRO, you will be going to the logistics general. Within the logistics general, you will go to material master. Within material master, basic settings, material types, and define attributes of material types. Okay, so here, if you see the material type which we are looking at, which is FERT. So if I open this and I can scroll down, I can go like this and find out FERT, or I can click on the position button and directly enter which material type I'm looking for. FERT, so it will automatically take you to that particular material type. Let's double click on this. Okay, you can see there are a lot of different settings that you can define here at the material type level. Okay, so this is my material type. This is the field. This is the field reference. Field reference means what fields will be available in your material type creation. Whenever you are going to create a material, if I press enter, system will take me to the next. Okay, industry sector is mandatory. So I will enter some industry sector. You can see there are a lot of different views. Basic data, sales data, purchasing data. Okay, so it is showing me everything. Normally, purchasing information should not come at all. Why? Because this is my finished product. I am manufacturing it. But why it is coming is because if you see the material type creation, if you see the material type related configuration, here purchasing tab has been activated for this material type. So if I deselect this, then system will not ask me the information related to purchasing. So whatever is appearing here, these are set up from this particular path. Okay, so before a end user, who will create a material master? Is a consultant will create the material master for the company, or end user will create?
End user.
End user will create the material master, right? So whatever settings you will do from the background, from the configuration as a consultant, those settings will appear for the end user to enter the information, right? So if this is wrongly configured, see what is happening, this is wrongly configured. Just take an example. I don't want to purchase this material at all. This is my finished product, right? So I don't want the option of purchasing it from outside. But yes, if a customer says that, okay, I'm manufacturing this, but sometimes if I don't have a sufficient stock, in that case, I purchase also, then it makes sense to add a purchasing tab also. But otherwise, if it is a finished product, normally we will be only able to sell this. We will never want this material to be purchased from outside. And that is the reason at the time of material creation, we may not need this purchasing information at all. Right? So one thing which is controlled by this material type, the very important thing is which users or which departments will be able to enter the details related to that particular material master. Clear on this material user departments? So you can see work scheduling, this is related to manufacturing, accounting, any material which you want to evaluate will definitely involve the accounting part. Classification, if you want advanced classification of material, we discussed just now that if you don't want to use the division to determine whether the material is a furniture or it is a laptop or it is a electronics, maybe you will enter this details in the material master itself in the classification tab. For each and every material, you will mention whether it is electronics. Within the electronics, is it related to the home appliances or it is related to some other electronics? So all those classifications you can carry out under the classification tab. Then you have MRP, which is one of the very important process we'll be discussing in both MM as well as SD. Okay, MRP stands for Material Requirement Planning, which means the availability of the material. So if a critical materials goes out of stock, it is a loss for the business, right? And at the same time, whenever you are creating the sales order, if you are committing the customer that we will be delivering this material on this particular date, we want to 100% be sure that we'll be able to deliver that material on time or not. So whenever you are creating the sales order, System verifies the availability. System checks whether that material availability is available on that particular date or not. So for that, we will be understanding the MRP. Based on the MRP itself, system will tell you whether the material availability is there or not. Purchasing, as I told you, if you are purchasing the material from outside, you will enter this information. Production, again, this is related to manufacturing. So normally this should be there when it is the finished product. Costing tab, which is again, before you sell the material, let's assume you are a salesperson. Customer is telling you, I want this material. Can you tell me what would be the price? How will you tell the price to the customer if you don't know what is the cost of this product? So before you decide the price at which you want to sell the material in the market, you definitely need to cost the product. You definitely need to identify what would be the cost of the product. So costing of the product is done using controlling module. So this particular tab related to costing is related to the calculation of the costing of that particular product in the controlling module. Okay, normally for manufacturing companies, this costing is very important tab and it is required for the, at least for the third level of material types. Storage. So once your finished product is completed, definitely you need to store it somewhere. Basic data is all about name, descriptions, whatever additional information you want to provide. Storage location, then you have forecasting. If you want to forecast, if you want to know what would be the demand of this material, maybe after 1 month, after 2 months. So SAP provides a very good functionality of APO, advanced planning and optimization, okay, which is some part of it is available in S4HANA. Earlier, APO was a completely different system. Now some part of APO is available within SAP S4HANA. So that is related to forecasting, quality management. So once your manufacturing has been done, you will be verifying the quality of the product, whether it is serving the business requirements or not. So this quality management is normally done in another module in SAP called as QM. Okay, so if you are using that module, then only you will go for this quality management. Otherwise, you can ignore it. Same way, there is a warehouse management. Yesterday, I told you in MM, the last level where the material can be tracked as storage location. Now, within that storage location, if you want to know the bin, if you want to know the box, okay, so if you want detailed level information, then you have to implement WM. So if your WM is active, then you will be going here and you will be maintaining the details of this material in the WM module. Same way sales. If you are going to sell this material, there are some features, some fields relevant to sales that you need to maintain in the sales department. Okay, plant stock, storage location stocks. These are just the reports which will tell you whether the material, how much quantity is available in this particular stock. So you can see what I wanted to highlight here is you can see there are different user departments. What do you mean by user departments? Now, definitely accounting part will not be entered by someone who is creating the material, someone who is from the MM background. He will not know what accounting information I should enter here. Same way, the person who is creating the material, let's assume he is from MM, he will not be able to know what are the sales related information he should enter here. So what happens is when you create a material master, there are different views. You can see when I'm creating this material master, there are different views. So if I am a person who is responsible for, let's assume, from the MM point of view, then I will only enter the basic information. I will enter the purchasing information, and maybe I will enter the plant and storage level related information. Okay, as a MM user, I'll be only able to provide this information. I don't know anything related to sales. I don't know anything related to accounting. So normally what happens is this material master is created by multiple teams. So purchasing related information is entered by the purchasing team. Sales related information is entered by the sales team. Similarly, accounting, costing related information is entered by those particular teams. If there is warehouse management, WM end users will be entering these details. right? And that is the reason there are different departments who are responsible to fill the information in the material master. Now the question is, which information is relevant for which material? So normally, if I'm talking about finished product, in that case, purchasing information is not required because I'm manufacturing it. But if I show you same way, if I show you the raw material, if I go for ROH, this is for raw materials. Raw materials means those components which are required to manufacture. So in our example, in case of laptops, what we need the hard disk, we need the battery. In case of sanitizers, what we need, we need the alcohol, which is a content that is required to manufacture the sanitizers. So that will become your raw material, which you purchase from outside and which you are not selling directly. You are using it for manufacturing, you are not selling it directly. That is the reason if I double click on this, in this one, what will happen is purchasing part will come. But since I am not selling it directly, sales information should not come. Okay, maybe this is wrong because this is a taste system. There are many persons who are working on this. That is the reason they have selected this. But normally, the sales part will not come in raw material. Raw material are not for sales. Raw materials are used to manufacture something, and then for selling, finished products are used as the material types. Okay, any questions till now? Any questions in the user department? We have not discussed anything else. Any questions on the user departments? Okay. If not, another very important thing, whenever you use the material type, even if you want to use the standard material type, which is already pre-delivered by SAP, you have to define the settings for your plant. So if I want to use this raw material ROH for my plant, I need to double click on quantity and value updating. Okay, here if you go and find your plant, so in our case, our plant is RC01. Our plant was RC01, right?
Yes. I think that's valuation area.
Valuation area is equal to same as plant.
Okay.
Okay, maybe we are still need to do some settings and then only it will appear. So let us continue with the settings that we want to do. Later on we will come here. So what I wanted to tell you, maybe forget about our company code here. Let's see any other company code. So if I go to ROH material type and if I select quantity and value updating, this is where we need to set up our valuation area. Okay, what is valuation area? So as I told you, valuation area is normally a plant. But how can you check? If you go to SPRO, IMG, in logistics general itself, under the enterprise structure, definition, logistics general, you can see define the valuation level. So if you open this, you can see valuation area as a plant. What does it mean? It means that whatever material movements would be done, okay, whenever you are selling something, whenever you are purchasing something, from logistics point of view, everything will be controlled by plant. So let's assume you are doing plant to plant transfer. You have two plants, one in Mumbai, one in Pune, right? RC01 and RC02. And if you want to do the transfer from RC01 to RC02, whether this has to be considered as a business transaction from the accounting point of view or not, it has to be considered as an accounting transaction. Why? Because valuation areas may be in different states, and in different states, definitely there will be different legal requirements. If you are transferring the material from one plant to another plant, maybe internally it is your plant only, but from the taxation, from the global valuation point of view, we have to report them separately. And that is the reason